Just in time for the holidays, I'm feeling so festive. Also, blood, guts, and gore, and Krampus killing people. Awesome. Sleigh bells. Hey y'all, it's your twisted girl next door here, and today I am reviewing the horror comedy festive, just in time for the holidays movie Sleigh Bells. So the plot line for Sleigh Bells is that three friends, three women, go on a trip to a abandoned Santa land place in the woods. And they discover that Krampus, the holiday demon Krampus, is killing people. And he's hanging out at Santa Land. And also Santa Claus is hanging out at Santa Land. And he's not the Santa Claus that we've all come to know and love. And they're also on a race against time to basically survive and also kill Krampus before he destroys Christmas and keeps killing kids. Yeah. Overall, I thought this movie was a lot of fun. It's a comedy. It's a comedy that mixes in gore, blood, guts, and also, three good-looking women who are our main characters. And I think, it's one of those movies that you play when you have your friends over and maybe you spiked your eggnog and you want to have a good time, but you also want a holiday movie that is also gory and also horror themed, which is always fun. A holiday movie with some magic, but also some decapitation. One of the pros was the effects. I really, really loved the way Krampus looked in this movie. And the thing about Krampus is that there's variety of interpretations of Krampus. He's actually a very cool monster, quote unquote, when it comes to the holiday season. For those of us who are horror fans, he's kind of our go-to, right? When it's around Christmas, it's like, not Santa, but Krampus, right? So there's a slew of Krampus movies, and this one adds to that pow of Krampus movies in a very interesting way because of the fact of the way Krampus looks. I really dug the demonic monster. They went for more of a sort of half man, half beast, which usually that's what Krampus looks like, kind of like the old school interpretations of what he looks like in real life. And so that worked. I liked that bit of it. He was menacing. It was more for the scary factor, and I think that worked. And I did like the fact of this film of, minus the gore and, possibly the killing of people. It did have a holiday vibe, from the opening credits that were going through the various Christmas songs to the chair of the three women who were, having some fun going to Santa Land around the holidays. And so in an interesting way, it didn't take away from the magic of Christmas, but it also infused this very oh yeah, there's blood happening here and possibly killings. I also like the idea of the social media aspect of it because the three girls, the three women were also, two of them and then their friend tagged along, were social media people. They were people who did have YouTube channels, and they're the adventure girls. And I kind of got Powerpuff Girl vibes from the three of them, which was not a negative. I love Powerpuff Girls. And so they were playing on this idea that they were filming themselves while they go on these adventures, and one of these adventures being to the abandoned Santa Land. Just getting a selfie with Krampus, that would probably get a lot of Instagram likes. The style of the movie was very interesting too. I'm going to say the style is a pro, and I'll talk about a little bit why it might not be some people's cup of tea. I think the style of the movie was interesting. It was a very active movie. There was a lot going on. 1 minute you're here, the next minute you're there, the next minute they're filming themselves for a YouTube video or a YouTube live video. And it was very much as you watch this movie, it's a little bit you're going on this adventure with these people, which some people, I think you might say it's erratic, but I think it made sense for what's happening in this film. It's kind of got this rock vibe where it's also Krampus is around and it's Christmas though, right? And it's Krampus Christmas on acid craziness. And I think the big aspect of this is the girl power phenomenon. You know, sometimes movies, I've talked about this before, not to get on my soapbox. I always say that when I'm about to get on my soapbox. I think with this film, what you got was you had these three characters, these three women having fun, behaving badly too. Because that's another trope in horror films where it's usually the good girl who is the heroine, who is the one that gets to survive. And I think what we're seeing more and more, whether it's taking itself seriously or whether it's a comedy or whatever, that there are movies coming out that are subverting that kind of trope. And I welcome that. One, it's not necessarily that it's a flaw, and I kind of touched on this earlier, is that it could seem polarizing for some people. And what I was saying about the nature in which the film, the vibe, the atmosphere of the film, I don't even know if erratic is the best word for it. I would say it's active. It's a very active film. Like, there's a lot going on, not necessarily chaotic, but more so you can't look away necessarily. You have to pay attention. There's a lot going on in the sense of 1 minute you're here, 1 minute you're there. There's stuff happening, various scenes. And for some people don't like that all the time, right? Some people, you can go with the flow of it. Some people may feel like it's hard to settle into the film because there's a lot going on. The other one, once again, this is a conditional flaw, and I always try to give sometimes warnings to people depending on, everyone's got their limits and things that they, deal breakers. There is a slight nudity in there, very slight. There's also maybe a peen shot of a monster of some sort. You may or may not be into that. I didn't mind it. I thought it was funny, especially the peen shot of the monster. But some people aren't like for that sort of look. Was this movie scary? No, it wasn't scary, but it wasn't supposed to be. Horror comedies aren't, I personally, I've yet to find a horror comedy where I've been scared. And I don't think that's the thing. Like, you're not scared. You might have the occasional jump scare, but a lot of them don't depend on that. So it doesn't, you don't really need that. And it's a holiday movie. You don't necessarily be scared in a holiday movie. That really is a holiday movie, which this movie is. It's very much a holiday film. The verdict is this movie is definitely stab approved or candy cane approved. Like a sharp candy cane where you stab with it. So, did you watch Sleigh Bells? Do you agree with my assessment? Or do you know some other horror holiday movies that I should check out that maybe I haven't seen yet? Let me know. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. And also, be sure to subscribe so that you are the first to know when I post my videos of all things horror. Ho, ho, ho. Ho. Thanks for joining. Let's get creepy together.